United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight's meeting is public hearing for the 2023 budget. Notice is hereby given that the preliminary budget for the town of Preble for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023 has been completed and filed at the office of the town clerk, where it is available for inspection by any interested persons. Further notice is hereby given that the board of the town of Preble will hold a public hearing on the 2023 preliminary budget at the Preble Town Hall at 7 p.m., November 9th, 2022. And at said hearing, any person may be heard for or against the preliminary budget or against any items contained therein contained. Pursuant to the section 113 of the town law, the proposed salaries of the town of Preble are hereby specified as follows. Supervisor, $8,000 per year. Town clerk, $10,500 per year. Justice, $12,000 per year. Councilpersons, $1,500 each per year. Highway superintendent, $53,200 per year. By order of the town board of the town of Preble, James Doring, town supervisor. Does any of you guys have any questions about the budget? You want to talk about anything?
Yeah, I was wondering why we couldn't get the tax rate down so there's no tax increase.
Well, I talked to Gina about this.
It's a rate per I know it's not a tax increase, but
It's a rate per
it's a
thousand.
rate per
of the assessed
thousand.
valuation.
When it goes up, you always
Mhm.
get it 90% of the time. You get a tax increase.
Well,
Especially with our if it ever goes to 100% assessment.
mhm.
We're like about 85. It's going to be quite a difference.
Yeah, it is going to
So
be.
as the rate per thousand goes up, when those change, then it's a drastic change. So
Mhm.
every time that inches up, and then a lot of people, taxpayers that I talk to, they always look at that because that's your tax rate per thousand.
They compare
and
the
your
rate.
biggest investment is your house. And
Right, they compare the rate from
You
last year
compare
to this year.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
And if there isn't a rate increase, it really sinks in like, oh, there's not gonna be maybe no tax increases.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very important and viable thing. I know it's only 2 cents. But
Yeah,
that's why it's only 2 cents. With all the other budgets we left in there, why couldn't that been 2 cents less?
mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know what that
Yeah.
rate, she's not here, I don't know what that rate means in
Mhm.
dollars and cents for our town surplus
Mm-hmm.
or budgeting.
Well, of course, we all see Gina do her magic when she's here, and she explains this to us. It's a complicated formula, I would say, because assessed valuation of the property as a town comes into play. The state has certain regulations. We have to have a certain amount of surplus at the end of the year and be able to pay all the bills that are proposed to. But one of the things Gina talked to me about was that everything around us is going up. Fuel costs, material costs, especially for highway. And not so much to run the office, but there is increased office costs too. But especially for highway, and we have to keep up with what's going on around us. If we don't keep up, even by a small rate increase, then, like you say, at some point we're going to get hit. And this did happen to us. One year we actually raised the tax rate by 20% or 19% one year, and we didn't really have too much of an argument from the public because they realized we hadn't raised taxes in 10 years. And now all of a sudden, to balance things, we had to raise it like that. So she is one who believes that we should have increases as long as we have inflation in our economy. that we need to keep up with everything that's going on around us. So that's the short version explanation of it. You know, and we can't be a town that never raises taxes.
I didn't say.
No,
When there's a
I'm not
surplus,
accusing you. Right,
then
right.
why raise taxes?
Mhm.
It's the taxpayers' money.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a surplus, give it back or don't increase it. But you have to, like you say, you have to have a surplus for the town in case
Mhm.
something, we need it
Right,
in there.
right.
So
Now, the state
if
also-
we're just relying on her to make those adjustments without us.
Well, ultimately, it's our decision.
Well, right, that's why.
For example, Gina is an advisor, she's a bookkeeper, and she offers advice to us. We can accept that advice or decline it. Don Armstrong is an advisor to the town. He gives advice, we can accept it or decline it. And we can do whatever, and Don Armstrong has even said, you guys can do whatever you want, but this is my view of things. And Gina kind of says the same thing. You can do whatever you want, but this is my professional view of things. Now, the state does give guidance as far as how much surplus a town can accumulate.
No, what is that?
I don't know those numbers off the top of my head, but
Well, we should all know that.
yeah, but the state,
And then compare that with what the budget comes up to be.
yeah, we're nowhere near that
Nowhere near,
line
anywhere
there.
over.
No, we're not over. No, we're within bounds of what the state says that we can
You can have a
draw.
surplus.
We can have a surplus. It's like the state doesn't want a municipality just simply hoarding millions and millions of dollars. You know, if we were a bigger community, hoarding that money, and a lot of communities have done this over the years. They hoard money. They put it into various investments, and it's almost like their own little investment club fund going on. And they've been reprimanded by the state.
Yeah, because it's not their money,
Right,
it's the taxpayers'
Right, that they
money.
can't do that.
Yeah.
We're nowhere near that situation. And so this is what Gina has recommended that we do. And I've always gone along with her recommendations. She's been doing this a lot longer than I have. and so I take her recommendations as being professional.
Now, the software that she uses, can we find out, is that stipulated by the state that we have accounting software? Whatever that is, that software is. And because I asked for, I did it last year too, for a percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Because with all this software, you can click of the button, you get the percentage of, that's the way we can compare things better.
Mm-hmm.
Not just, everything is by percentage
Mhm.
to
Mm-hmm.
valuation, the state does that.
Mm-hmm.
But we should see that in our reports, and it can flag things, and then we can compare percentages, increases of other towns and what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked last year her about that, but I never got a straight answer.
Okay. Well, asking me to get into those kinds of details is above.
Well, I can
Well,
email her,
you can
ask
talk
her,
to
yeah,
her.
and I'll copy you,
Yeah.
yeah, sure,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
You know,
call her.
it tells you what the percentages tells you what.
Yeah.
Feel free to call her on the phone or email
Yeah.
her, whatever you want to do, and I'm sure she can get into explanations of.
Now, our records, if she still has all of our records, I'm a little confused on where the cabinets and of our past records, where are they at?
Well, our records all go into the vault here.
The vault right here.
Right. She has, of course, this year's records,
Yeah,
2022, and at the end of the year, when she's into next year, when she's into the next year, and she finishes up whatever work she has to do for this year, she will then bring all of those files down here, and
then archive the files.
she and the town clerk will go into the vault and they'll file that away.
Mhm. That's here.
Mm-hmm.
Building.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But feel free to talk to Gina about your question,
Mhm.
and we can even talk about it at our next board meeting, because we have to take a vote for the budget at the next board meeting. on Monday, which is next Monday.
Yeah, next Monday
So
to.
we can have a discussion,
Accept it.
right, we can have a discussion and then we can vote on the budget. And if there's something serious that
But it
you,
has to be done, I think, that month, doesn't it?
well, yeah,
So-
if you see a glaring error somewhere, you should alert.
Well, I
Gina.
just asked about the tax rate, and if nothing, there was time enough between then and now, and
Well, I
now
would,
and Monday to get some answers.
well, try to call her tomorrow
Uh-huh.
and
You know.
just, you know.
Otherwise,
see
if I
what she
wait till
says.
Monday and then.
Don't wait till Monday.
I
Yeah.
wait till Monday and then we don't get the answers, and how could
Mhm.
we vote on it?
Mhm.
Or, we can vote on it, but
Mhm.
we pass, but.
Mhm. Okay, does anybody else have another question?
Yeah, I got a question with Fritz, what do you say?
Rick Fritz, well, we decided to leave everything, the way,
We're gonna give him the 850, right?
we're gonna give him the 800 or whatever it is, yeah, we're gonna give him that.
Now, see, with him being an actual town employee, does he get state benefits and all that too?
He gets, well, he's not full-time. He's part-time. So he does not get full-time, whatever a full-timer would get.
Right.
He doesn't get what the highway people get.
Right.
Yeah. So he gets payroll taxes taken out. He gets
Right.
his social security, Medicaid, and all that paid for out of his paycheck. So he doesn't have to worry about that. He can qualify for state retirement if he puts into it, signs up for it and puts into it, which I don't think he does. But he's a part-time employee.
So he's not eligible for any of that unless he puts it in himself.
Right. Jeff, any questions? Any discussion that you want to bring
No,
up?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay.
Just wanted
Okay.
to hear if there was any.
Mhm. And I did go on a round with Rick Monday when he came in, and he asked me, "Do I want to ride with him?" And so I said, "Yeah, I'll ride with you." So we rode for maybe an hour and a half or so, and he showed me the different projects that are going on around town. And there's more building going on than I really thought there was.
Yeah,
People,
see with all the building permits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but just kind of flipping through the building permits is one thing, but going out and seeing
Yeah,
them,
right.
is different. And so people are, even with the high cost of building, construction, I mean, it's just super high right now. But people are still putting extensions onto their homes and they're doing all kinds of things. So, and building homes too. There's a few new houses in town. One up on Song Mountain. And so he kind of took me around and showed me different things that are going on. So,
That's a good thing.
yeah. So, Jen, anything from you?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, how are things going on your end?
Good.
Okay, good. So, we don't have anybody here that would like to ask any more questions. So, this is the public hearing, and if there's no more questions and nobody from the audience, then
The post office, they still pay Brent. Did that, I was gonna try to find that in here, but I don't think it's documented, or maybe it is, but, I mean, did that rent amount change, or was it, cause we talked about, implementing so much a year or something, or
There's-
holding it for so many years.
there's a 5-year lease on
Yeah.
that space with options to renew for another 5 years after that.
So that rate stays fixed for.
The rate, I think there's a slight escalation on that rate. And again, those numbers, I don't have, yeah,
I don't.
it would be difficult for me to go through here and actually find it,
Yeah,
but
right.
again, that's another question that you could
I
ask
could
Gina.
ask her, okay.
Right.
Yep.
And then the other thing too is Sukkot, their pilot agreement is coming to an end, their 10-year pilot agreement, which in the beginning, they weren't paying very much property tax, but now they're coming to the end of that, and they're paying what that property should be taxed at full value. So that's good for the town too.
Mhm.
So otherwise, our newsletter's coming out soon, probably the end of this week, maybe by the weekend. And one of the things I wrote in there was that our financial position is strong, and that we don't have any short-term debt or long-term debt in town. So the taxpayers and residents can be assured that we're in a strong financial position.
Post office, 22 and 23. Under the revenue side. She got 89,000 here, so I'm not sure. I'm not what the contract said.
So it's the same.
22 and 23, according to that's the same.
It's possible it could be
21, 22. and
same
23.
amount for 5 years. That's possible. And then,
I don't know if there's an escalation built in or not.
Yeah.
I can't-
yeah, we'd have to read the
I got a copy
contract,
of it
but
someplace.
it is a 5-year contract with 5
Oh,
years.
yeah, it looks like it's staying the same every
Yeah.
year. It has the past 3 years, 21, 22.
So, any other points of discussion? Anyone else?
So they're working on the charging stations up there, they got the curb out, that light not down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I noticed that this morning when I went by,
I've driven by a few times over the past.
putting in their little sidewalk.
Okay.
Okay.
That sidewalk going?
It looked like they were digging up there this morning when I went by, and I thought that was maybe what they were doing.
I drove by a few times earlier, over the 2-week period, and I didn't see anything going on. But I guess they're at it now, so that's a good sign.
Yep.
They had good weather
Yeah.
over the past
Oh,
week to
yeah.
work on that.
Yeah, all you guys with good weather, right?
Yeah. Which is coming to an end this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we don't have any other points of discussion, we need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the public hearing is now adjourned at 7:17.